A year ago, I 27F broke up with my lying boyfriend 27M. Today, I found out that everyone else was lying and he was being truthful. A year ago, I was about to move in with my first serious boyfriend Josh, with whom I was head over heels in love, when one of my closest friends said that Josh had shown them a nude photo of me on his phone when he was drunk during a party. 5 or 6 more of my friends corroborated the story and told me that Josh also talked in extreme detail about our sex life when showing the photo. It was sickeningly detailed. This did not sound at all like Josh. When I asked him what the F was going on, he denied everything. He eventually got very angry and started calling all of my friends liars. At one point, he showed up at my place while some of them were visiting and things got a little physical. It was really a very strange turn of events in my life. Josh seemed so worked up and all of my close friends were calling him a liar. Josh had taken photos of me on his phone, which I know was stupid, but heat of the moment and everything. So I trusted my friends and I broke up with Josh. It was heart-wrenching. Josh begged me to believe him. He started tearing up, nearly punched the wall, and left angrily. I was really grossed out at the time and felt super conflicted. A few months later, I started dating one of the friends, Alex, who had told me about Josh showing everyone the photo. All of my friends were pushing me to date Alex at the time. We didn't really sync and it didn't go past a few months, but we remain friends of sorts. So today, another friend sends me a message that says he just wanted to get something off his chest. The story about Josh wasn't true and were really trying to get me to date Alex, so they made up that story about Josh. After talking to a few of the other people, including Alex, it's all come out that they were lying. It was this orchestrated crap event that totally changed my life forever. Apparently, they hated Josh and thought he was bad for me and an butthole. That was my decision. I'm shaking right now. I cried in the office bathroom for about 2 hours afterwards. I loved Josh so much. We were planning a life together. And I've been friends with that group since high school. What the F? I guess I'm supposed to stop talking to my friends, right? I cannot possibly come back from this and still talk to them, right? This basically nukes my group of friends, but how could I ever even look at them again? Also, I need closure with Josh. Can I call him? Should I call him? Should I unblock him on Facebook and message him? What do I do? Update. Even though everyone seemed to think this was a terrible idea, I sent Josh an email on Friday. I copied it here. Josh, I don't know if you are still connected to anyone on Facebook, but if you are, you probably already know why I am sending this. And I know it is totally unfair and selfish to contact you, but I cannot imagine going through the rest of my life without apologizing. So before I say a bunch of embarrassing things, more than anything, I want to say that I am sorry I did not trust you. I am sorry I let other people decide our relationship. I am sorry for what I put you through. But I figure this might be my only chance to say this. So here comes the really lame, embarrassing stuff. I spent the past day thinking about the past year, where I would be if I had believed you, what my life would be like. Would we be engaged? Would we be married? I'm not over you. I want to try again. I'm not asking you to marry me, but if you ever find yourself thirsty, I would love to buy you a beverage of your choice. I want to talk to you again. I miss everything about our relationship. I miss you getting annoyed when I stole your French fries. I miss fighting with you over money. I miss making you breakfast. I miss watching The Office with you over and over and over. I miss you. My information is still the same. I would not blame you if you ignored and deleted this. Just know that I know. I am really sorry. So I sent it and tried to take my mind off of it. Just writing it and sending it was extremely cathartic. I spent Saturday morning sitting around watching old movies when someone rang my doorbell. Assuming it was Amazon, I ignored it and waited for the delivery driver to leave so that I could sneak out and grab the package I was in my robe. After a minute or two, I walked over to the door and looked through the hole. It was Josh. Obviously, my heart leapt into my throat. I had been compulsively checking my phone for a response, but I was not expecting something like that. Everything in my house, including me, was pretty disheveled. I cracked the door, smiled, said hi, and told him that I had to get dressed really quick. What a terrible interaction. So I ran around my place throwing crap into corners, pulled my hair back, found something to wear, and went back to the door. I'm here for that beverage. I only had Odge and water, which was also pretty embarrassing, but Josh stuck around anyways. He didn't ask many questions really. I started to talk about the nude photo incident, but he said he didn't really care to talk about it. We both know all of the details now. The conversation eventually grew a bit aimless, and we were just talking like old times. It was wonderful. He asked if I was hungry. I wasn't really, but of course I said I was. We went to a nearby burger place that we used to go to all the time. He did ask whether or not I had dated Alex. He didn't seem too upset by my answer. I asked him if he had dated anyone. He had a 6-month relationship in the interim. She sounded great, but I didn't pry. When we got back to my place, Josh asked what I was doing for the rest of the day. I don't have plans. We spent the rest of the day together, then the night. It's totally stupid to move that fast, but I'm not going to spend much time worrying about it. I'm feeling happy. We spent part of Sunday together too, then Tuesday and Wednesday. We discussed what we were doing. 2 single people dating each other was the consensus. Exclusive? Yes. I think the world of him and will always regret what happened. No matter what though, I'm extremely happy I sent the letter to him. It's interesting to think that if he had actually done what everyone accused him of, and then I took him back, I would probably have trust issues. Now, obviously, I trust him to the core. He could tell me the world was flat, and I'd have trouble questioning him. Just a weird thought I've been having. So that's the story. We are together again. Will it work out? I hope so. No matter what, things are better today than they were last week. Next story. My boyfriend 22M gave a handmade Christmas present to his mother 40F that I 22F made. I make really cool vases as a hobby. These can take weeks to complete and are always made with the giftee in mind. My mom 50F and I have always been into nature together. We hike, we own animals, we eat outside if we can. I guess being into nature sounds weird. We just like being outside. So I made my mom a Siamese cat urn. It looks like a vase, but the top is the cat's ears. It is super cute and I loved the way it turned out. No one died or anything, it was just the style of the piece. I had finished it and taken it to my apartment, wrapped it up, and been so excited about it. Well, my boyfriend's mother came over and he didn't get her a Christmas birthday present. She loves cats, so he just gave her the piece I made, which she loved. My boyfriend does not live with me. He has his own apartment near his school. His mother came over before we went over for dinner to see my new kitten. She was in tears over how nice the present was, and I ruined it. I told her that the presents must have gotten mixed up, that was made for my mother. She got a bit upset, gave it back. Then my boyfriend went out to dinner with her. He said it would be best if I didn't come. I guess she cried the whole way and he didn't have a present for her, so he looked like a bad son. I have trouble seeing where I am at fault. I understand that the nice thing would have been to remake a gift or let her just have it. However, it was one of my best pieces and I always give my mother art I make. She loves it. She shows it off to everyone. It is something she takes great pride in. She has one from every Christmas and I never miss a year. She even shows off the crappy lumps I made as a kid. My boyfriend wants to talk tomorrow. I am not sure if he is going to break up with me or if he wants to yell at me for it. I just need to know what people think. Was I a jerk? Boyfriend seems to think I was. I love this guy very much and really love his mom. She is super sweet and kind and never really gets nice things. I still don't think it is my job to cover for his lack of foresight. Her birthday comes every year on the same day. It's not like it surprised him. I got her a card and a book. which I thought was nice. She thanked me for them later over text, but she seemed really sad about the cat vase. I guess she was hoping I either made her something or my boyfriend actually got her something she really liked. She loves cats, and he has never gotten her anything cat-themed. It is always some cooking supplies or an apron, which means he sucks at presents. So I am just not sure what to think. Does anyone have an idea what to do in this situation? Update. I want to thank everyone for all the help. A few people advised that I should have just let his mom have the gift. This is not something I was comfortable doing. I don't make art to sell, I make art to give to people who I love very much. So each piece has a lot of love in it. My now ex-boyfriend showed up around 4 p.m. and wanted to talk at me. He just told me he was disappointed and that he had taken a lot of sweet talking to make his mother understand what happened. He told her I mixed up the packages, but that I had one for her that I just needed to get. I told him I didn't have anything for her and that I was not going to be helping him out. He could go buy one for her and pass it off as handmade, but I was not covering for him. I told him I felt that his behavior was cruel to me, the effort I put into my art, and my mom, his mom, just everyone. He told me that he expected better. He would not apologize. He just kept getting angrier and angrier. He ended up grabbing a piece I made earlier this year. I was really proud of it. It was a mermaid on a rock. He said he would give this to her and that I could find a new boyfriend. I told him if he left with it, I would call the police. We weren't screaming, but we were both really angry. He slammed it back down on my table. He told me that he never wanted to see me again and I should call him when I grew the F up. I told him we were over, that he was no longer my boyfriend and I wanted nothing to do with him. I said he could take the clay back if he wanted, but I had already returned his Xbox to the store. He told me to keep the effing clay, and he wouldn't have apologized if he knew I wasn't giving him the present. He called me a liar and said I had ruined his holiday. According to the dribble coming out of his mouth, his mom was really hurt and had left town early. He thought giving her a piece and shifting the blame to me for getting would make it better. I told him to just leave. So now I am single, with a lot of clay and a lightly cracked mermaid statue. I am not sure how to feel about this, but Dobby is free. Next story. Am I the butthole for making my wife confess to all her friends and family that she cheated on me if she did not want a divorce? I, 34M, have been married to my wife, 32F, for 5 years, and we have 3 children. A few months ago, I found out from my wife's texts that she had been cheating on me, and I confronted her about it. She confessed to it and gave me an entire breakdown of her affair, which had lasted for a month. I was devastated and asked her why. She gave no excuses for it, and said she had caught feelings for her affair partner which were wrong, and she had acted on them. He was her coworker. I asked her if I lacked in anything, and she said no, and she was in tears. I needed a few days to process this. My wife gave me space, but she asked me many times to reconsider divorce because it would uproot the lives of our children. She said she would do anything I wanted for the rest of my life. After a week, I decided that I needed only one thing from my wife to completely forgive her, and that was to call each and every one of her friends and family and confess to her affair. I told her that was my only condition. She was really hesitant and asked me if I could reconsider the condition because this would ruin a lot of her friendships and family relationships. But I told her this was what I needed as a part of my forgiveness process, and that if she didn't do this, I was going to start looking for a divorce lawyer. Over the next week, my wife made a phone call to all of her friends, parents, grandparents, siblings, uncles, aunts, pretty much anyone she knew, and confessed to her affair. It was hurtful, and there was a lot of crying. My wife was hurled with a lot of shouting. By the week's end, my wife had called everyone I had wanted her to call. It has been a few months, and my wife and I actually have a really strong relationship now. However, my wife has pretty much become isolated from her friends and a lot of her family. This has hurt her a lot, and she spends a lot of nights crying. but she says this was worth it for our relationship and for our children. Am I the butthole? Update. I feel really guilty even typing this out, but I am now considering a divorce. While I still love my wife, her personality has completely shifted over the past few months, and she is no longer the joyous and energetic person I fell in love with. Instead, she's always sad, gloomy, cries often, and very, very clingy to me. I admit that I made a mistake asking her to confess her affair to everyone, because it has just changed her personality completely. I wish she could go back to her joyous nature, but I don't know if it's possible anymore. I am not sure how to tell my wife I am considering divorce because it would just break her heart. Next story. My husband is not invited to my brother's wedding. My 33M brother 30M is getting married this summer. The invitations have been sent out, and even though I'm married, my husband is not invited. In December, I'll have been married to him for 5 years and together with him for a total of 15 years. None of my other brothers and sisters are married or in a relationship, but they have all been afforded a +1, as has every other adult guest, whether they are married or not. My brother tried to tell me there is no room on the guest list. I'm extremely hurt, and I'm disappointed that he is excluding my husband, and that my other brothers and sisters, my parents and my grandparents say that he is right, that is no room, that I can't force my husband on the guest list, and that I'm wrong to be upset. They've never outright shown that they are against my husband, but now I know better. Before now, he was always included in family event. It really hurts. Update. People who said in the comments that it was because of the bride are right. I tried talking to my brother about this, and he said his fiancée and her family don't believe in gay marriage, so that's why they didn't invite my husband, and told everyone that I'm straight. I'm not going to the wedding. Thank you for the support. Update. At the time, my husband and I had been together for almost 15 years and married for almost 5 years, now almost 17 years, and married for 7 years. We found out that my husband wasn't invited only 8 weeks before the wedding, months after my brother had joined my husband and I when we went shopping for new suits for the wedding. All of my other siblings were single, but they were all given a +1, as were the other adult guests. It was only my husband who wasn't invited and me who wasn't allowed a +1. My brother's fiancée and her family thought my lifestyle was wrong, so her and my brother told everyone I'm straight and not married. Previously, I had never had any issues with my brother's fiancée, but apparently she always believed I'm a degenerate. None of my other siblings, my parents or my grandparents, sided with me. They said I was wrong for being upset. I didn't go back to Brisbane where my family and my brother's fiancée family all live for the wedding. No one from my family has spoken to me since, due to how upset they are that I tried to make your brother's wedding about you, in their words. Me being upset that my husband wasn't invited, and my brother telling his fiancé's family I'm straight means I made the wedding all about me. I have realized my family wasn't actually supportive of me being gay as I thought. They wanted to keep up appearances for the wedding. It has been almost 2 years. Even after everything, I still miss them sometimes, but I also know that it's better for me this way. My husband has been wonderful. His family, who are the exact opposite of mine, and they have been wonderful as well. I've had a few messages asking for an update. I appreciated all the kind comments in my other post. Apologies if this is anticlimactic. I hope you guys like this video. If you did, make sure like, comment, share, and subscribe the channel James Stories.